Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. So in this one it's going to be kind of a review for the traps and all that. Just going to talk about troop numbers you need to aim for, defenses you need to aim for, and I'm going to go over all three types. I'm going to go over the Kanai traps, BadGear traps, and heroless. I'm going to talk a little bit about each of them, and yeah, you guys know how it works. Anyways, let's start with the Kanai traps, I guess. In our last kill event, we tested several different troop amounts and different hero levels and stuff like that. Some of us did a little bit extra research, some of us didn't. And what seemed to hold up well was around 8 billion troops with 4,500 defense in 3 kunais. So I'm thinking if you guys have around 4,500 defense with 3 kunais, if you have, you could go around 8 billion troops. But MZ just released VIP 30. Now, 30 is going to be a little bit interesting. They added this stat in, which before they did not really have any of this. They only had a little bit of this stat actually before. And before they actually added in the research the other week, there wasn't really any of this at all. That was, I think, the Hall of War. I forget which building or which research tree there was, but there was only a tiny bit of this rally attack bonus. And then they added in the, I think it's gem set bonus. It adds in like 1,000 more of it. And then they added this 1,000. So it's going to be probably over 2,000% rally attack bonus if the person does a lot of research. So overall, I'm not sure how this stat actually adds into the hits. I'm not sure if it counts as troop attack, individual attack, or some kind of odd number that just adds up in the troop attack. I'm not sure on the math for this one. They don't really specify or explain how it works. So it should be interesting to see how this actually works out. The defense and health are going to work about like you would expect. It just make it a little harder to eat, which these 20 million rallies are hard enough to eat, and try to stay small. So that being said, around 8 billion troops for 4,500 defense with 3 kunais, 475 hero, and VIP 27. Now, to adjust for the VIP 30, I'm going to guess we might need a little extra troops. I mean, it would really depend on the person, their city, their setup, what little bit of extra researches and stuff they had, what their attack and all that is. But I'm going to guess we might need a little bit extra troops, so probably 8.5, 9 billion, maybe not even that much for most people. But yeah, that's what you need to aim for around in there if you have that defense. Now, of course, if you guys have higher defense than that, you could probably pull it off with a lot less troops. I've seen people cap around 4.5 billion troops, but those people have an insane amount of defense. I mean, like 9,000% defense on 3 kunais and all that. So, to get that low in troop count, you guys have to have some serious defense, serious ore boost, just everything boosted as much as you can. So, of course, everybody's a little bit different. If you guys have higher defense than that, you could possibly do it with less troops. It's up to you guys if you want to do that. Now, if you guys have lower defense than 4,500 in 3 kunais. Now, this is all with 3 kunais, guys. So, if you have 4,500 with 3, less than 4,500 with 3, which you really shouldn't, you guys really need to work on that. The lower your defense drops and the more they push these rallies higher and higher with more attack and more health and all this, the more it makes your troops jump. Especially the lower you are, it's gonna add on really fast. So if you guys are lower than that, you really need to work on getting your defense higher. It really depends how low you are, so I can't really give you a number. Let's say you're 3,500 defense with 3 kunais. Now that's 1,000% decrease. I'm going to guess 2 billion more troops. So around 10 billion, maybe even 11, maybe even 12. I'm not sure. I don't have defense that low, so that's really going to be up to you guys to test and see how many you need and how it's actually going to work out for you guys. You really need to get that defense higher. Your power is just going to skyrocket because you're going to need so many extra troops the lower your defense is. So, that being said, I think that's about it troop-wise for troop numbers on the Kanai traps. Around 8 billion, 8.5, 9 billion, in that range if you guys have 4,500 with 3 Kanais. That held up really well during the kill event. The only issue was that sometimes some people would walk, which that's kind of to be expected. A lot of people gym their stuff a little different and run different setups, so they're a little bit harder to eat. Like a lot of them run a lot of health, and that's hard enough to eat even if you are set up to eat scout cores and things like that. It's just really hard to eat some of these rallies. They added in so much health lately. So, them walking and only killing a few traps isn't really a bad thing, but a lot of people like the cap. Now, it's really dependent on your city how you are able to adjust and be able to eat those marches. It's really going to depend on you guys, cities, what they have and all that. But adding a little bit of attack probably won't hurt. If you guys want to go to Hero 65, you could do that. If you want to go to 66, you could probably do that. That's a little bit of power. But you could do that, get a little bit more health in there. It's not really going to do a whole lot, but you could add it in there. It will help a tiny bit. As for your skill trees, you guys can change it up a little bit. Leave all the defenses and everything. Drop some of the useless stuff like Rally March debuff, set bonuses if you guys have that skilled. Add in troop health if you can. Add in individual attacks. I wouldn't go for individual healths or defenses just yet. I mean, if you guys have enough skill points, you could, if you wanted to, try that out. But the health and individual attacks and troop attacks, things like that, that's going to help you kill these marches a little better. You don't really need to survive them any better. Most people are only just smoking. They just can't kill the march. So surviving it isn't really the issue. It's just being able to eat these 20 million marches with the massive amount of health they've just added in lately. Let's see. What else? Potions, if you guys haven't done that, you guys need to upgrade your alchemy lab as much as you can. Potions are a big thing now. They really help. Some people don't even need them to take hits, which you really shouldn't need them if you are have enough troops for your defense. But for you guys that want to stay as small as you possibly can, potions are a great way to do that. That's a lot of defense, and you can stay a little bit smaller with that. Also, you can build an attack potion and stuff, so if your only issue is eating a march, just throw on an attack potion and there you go. Also, if you guys haven't been using these lately, you can also get behemoth boosts, which these are pretty great. There is tons of alliances out there set up just to kill behemoth monsters. It's kind of like going to a help alliance, if you guys remember doing that. I mean, you just jump in there, you get a couple boosts, kill a few monsters, and there you go. I've got tons of them, as you can see, and I just go in there, kill a few monsters, and you rack up these boosts pretty fast. So that's up to you guys if you want to go get some behemoth boosts. I mean, they do help out. I mean, they look like small percentages, but they help quite a bit. They are boosts can change the entire result. Alright, that being said, I think that's about it for Kanai traps. If you guys need more information or need to know anything else about what you could possibly do to work out eating these marches with your city, I mean, you can contact me through line, in the game. You can contact me through the comments, anything like that. You guys know the drill, and I'll help you guys out. Everyone's a little bit different, so it's a little bit different for everyone how they need to set up to eat these marches. Alright, let's go on to bad gear trapping. Now, as you guys can see, I've grown a little bit since I made the other video showing you guys how to do that, and I just increased my troop count. And I did that because they released those 20 main marches with strategics and all that. Now, some of you don't actually have to do that. You don't have to increase your troop count as much. But for me, I have low research. I have, what was it, 30 billion, I think. There's 38 billion research power. Now, with that, I'm running 25 billion troops. Most of it being tier 2s, of course. We're close to them and I all that. Then I got a little bit of tier 1s in there, as I showed you guys in the video. I actually got 24 billion right now. Killed off a couple of them in the event. But anyways, I was at 25 billion troops. 5 billion each regular. 800 million each strategic. And then 1 billion each wild tier 2. Now, the only reason I increased my troop count was because my research was so low and my stats were a little bit lower than some people's. I've seen someone actually cap at super low power, like 150, no, not 150, 180, 200 range, around in there, because they had around 70 billion research power. Now, the reason behind that is a lot of this research can add a lot of defense. So it's really up to you guys if you wanted to do extra research to stay smaller, or just add a little bit extra troops and not mind being a little bit bigger. Which I don't mind being a little bit bigger, just add a few more troops and I'm good to go. As long as I'm under 500 billion, I'll probably still get hit constantly in economy gear. So it should be fine either way. But for you guys that want to do a little bit extra research and stay a little bit smaller, you can go through here and do extra stuff like the combat tree. Do all the defense. You can do a little bit of the health, do the attacks, all that stuff. Hero tree, I think there's some in here. You can do the attacks and all that. Defense tree, definitely you got a lot of individual. You got all these debuffs, all that stuff. You guys can kind of pick that out if whatever you want to do. Now, the only reason I do not want to increase my research power. Research cannot be taken away. Once you do it, you can't take it away. You are stuck with it. So if they were to release gear, a new building, a new boost, types, whatever the case, and it happened, we could go back to being 10 billion trap size, which I doubt that will happen. But there will be something that comes out that will allow us to stay a little smaller or something like that. You can't take it away if it happens to become useless later on. So if you were to try and switch up your trap to something else later on, and you didn't need that research, you're stuck with it, you can't get rid of it, you'd have to make a new account or just deal with it and be a little bigger. So it's up to you guys if you want to add that research and just take the chance of it not being useful later on. That's the only reason I haven't done it. Now, hero levels for the BadGear traps, you guys can go to 73. You could go to 74 if you wanted to. That is a ton of power. And 75, even more power than that. I think it's like 56 billion power or something like that. Only for attack and some defense debuff, which isn't really going to help a lot. Attackers usually don't load up on defense. So that's up to you guys if you want to go any higher than 73. I didn't really see any need to go to 74 or 75. That's up to you guys. But 73, you do get some health. And 71 and 72, you get some other stuff that will help you out. So that's up to you guys if you want to go that higher in hero level. I didn't really need to, but it's up to you guys if you want to. Let's see. What else? VIP level. That's for pretty much everybody. You guys can all do that. That's not really going to affect hits a whole lot. I mean, it only takes one pack to get it to 28. So it's going to be pretty common that most people have 28 at least. So it's up to you guys if you want to go up any higher than that or go to 28 at all. It's up to you. I mean, I'd definitely go to 28 at some point. That way you could get your orb boost pretty easy. I mean, sitting there for several hours, clicking and clicking and clicking, that gets really old. So I'm probably going to go to 28 eventually. I mean, I won't be doing it right now, but when it gets a little cheaper, I probably will go to 28. Maybe even 29 or 30. That's up to you guys. That's a lot of defense and stuff that would really help out. Let's see. What else can we do for BadGear traps? Same thing goes for alchemy for you guys. Potions will help a lot if you guys can build a defense on. If you can't kill the Marsh for some reason, which you should with 20-something billion troops. And actually, because of VIP 30, I forgot to mention that we may actually need more troops than that. May need less than that. It really depends on your research, guys. I've seen people capping research gear at like 13 billion troops, but they had all that extra research. So whatever you guys are at, troop-wise and research-wise, it's really going to depend on you guys to test it out and see where you need to be. But if you guys are kind of exactly how I am, you got around 30-something billion research power, and you kind of copied what I did on the research there. You have pretty much the same troops. I think I'm going to increase it a little bit. I may even go to 30 billion. I don't think I'll go up that high. I may go up a billion or two. I don't think it'll take that much to actually cap a VIP 30. It shouldn't make that much of a difference. But I probably will increase my troop count a tiny bit. We'll just have to play with it and see. I shouldn't need a whole lot more. Alright, back to potions. Potions are pretty great. So again, if you guys need help killing a march, you can make an attack potion. If you need help surviving a march, you can defense potion, health potion, anything like that that'll help out. I think that's about it. Won't really need cores for a BadGear trap, but it's up to you guys if you wanted to build some altar. If you guys don't have it, hey, the altar's glowing again. Didn't even notice that. I mean, it used to glow a long time ago when it was active, and then it stopped for the longest time, but now it's glowing again on mine. I don't know if that happened to you guys, but it hasn't glowed in months for me. I just don't notice that. Oh well. Alright, let's go on to heroless. Now, for the heroless one, it's research plays a massive role. Now, with VIP 30, that shouldn't affect heroless too bad. I mean, it's only a couple thousand attack and some defense debuff. I mean, it'll hit a little bit harder, but shouldn't be much worse than a 20 million rally already is. So, right now, I think the heroless account is setting at around 100 billion troops. I forget exactly what it is. It's a little over 100 billion troops. But that account can probably do it with a lot less. It has a ton of research. It's right under 400 billion research power. Now, on a heroless trap, research power is a massive thing. If you guys don't have a whole lot of research, if you're setting it like 100, 150, 200, maybe even 250 billion research, you guys probably won't be able to do it with as low as troop count, which that one's pretty high. I mean, 100 billion. That's probably way more than we actually need. You can probably could probably go down to maybe 80 billion or so and still be able to cap, maybe even 70, possibly even lower than that, but 100 billion is fine. We still get hit at, I think, 1.5 trillion, I forget. What's the size? Let's go look. There it is. Oops. Yeah, 1.5 trillion. So, yeah, you can still get hit at that size, especially heroless. They eat heroless up. They're all over heroless targets, especially if you are under 2 trillion. So it's up to you guys how much troops you actually want to add. Not really sure how to give you guys an exact number without knowing what researches and stuff you have, but if you guys are nearly maxed. You could probably do it with less than 100 billion troops, maybe even 70, maybe even 80, around in there. If you guys are around 400 billion research power. If you guys are less than that, I mean, it really depends what you have done. A lot of it, every bit of it helps. I mean, besides the production researches and all that. But that research allows your stats to just go through the roof. I mean, lately these researchers have been adding in tons and tons of stats. On this account, the stats without a hero actually look like a set of cores. I mean, several thousand attacks, several thousand defense, several thousand health with no hero. So every little bit of that research is going to help you out. That increases your base stats. Ones that say troop attack, ones that say defense, not troop attack with hero. If it says with hero, that's not going to help you at all. That's all going to be taken when you lose your hero. So anything that says, anything that's base stat research, you guys can do that, and that will help you out massively on a heroless trap. Massively on a heroless trap. Now, building wise, again, reinforcements on your embassy. If you guys have it 26, that is like a life-saving building. If you guys have that 26, and you could possibly do the orb boost towards embassy defense bonus if you wanted to. Embassy is, I'm still not sure how that building actually works out, but it is awesome for heroless traps. Because we have so many troops, heroless traps are nearly untouchable when you have a embassy going. And some of you may need boosts. I always throw a defense boost, sometimes an attack boost. Attack debuff boost, but usually just a defense, and sometimes a potion. I mean, usually I've got an attack potion running because I'm rallying most of the time, but when I do lose my hero, sometimes I'll switch it to a defense one if I get somebody that hits really hard or something like that. But it really shouldn't take much more than a simple boost and a reinforcement to cap pretty much anybody. If you guys have it set up pretty well, and yeah, it's just going to take testing. I mean, it really depends on what your city has research-wise and all that. So it's up to you guys how you want to do that. And yeah. So just play with it. Again, I'm around 100 billion troops. So, based off that, I'd say some of you are probably going to need a little bit more than that. These 20 million rallies hit really hard. If you are low in research, you're probably going to need more troops, guys. Not really sure how to give you an exact number without knowing your researches and all that. So, of course, leave a comment, contact me in game, contact me on line, and I'll get you guys sorted out if you guys need help. So, thanks for watching the video, guys. Hopefully that was helpful, or at least I can be a little helpful if you guys contact me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Yeah.